This is Bob Capetta from the College of the Florida Keys, and this lesson is on word problems. So here's our first example. The distance from Miami to Key West is 160 miles. Bill is 3 times farther from Miami than he is from Key West. How far is Bill from Miami? That's the question we're asking, and we're going to try to answer that. So we need some kind of a model to enable us to solve that. He's farther from Miami than he is from Key West, so he's closer to Key West. So let's draw a picture. Here's Key West. Here's Miami. Now we know that the total distance between these two cities is about 160 miles. He's closer to Key West than he is Miami, so if we're going to draw the picture here, we'll put Bill at this spot. So I need to introduce a variable. The variable I'm going to introduce is x. X will be the distance that Bill is from Key West. So we'll say he's x miles from Key West. He is 3 times farther from Miami than he is from Key West, so that would be 3x from Miami. So looking at this diagram, we need to determine what the equation is going to be. 3x miles here, x miles here, but the total has to be 160 miles. So our equation will be 3x plus x is 160. Now that's 3x plus 1x, which will give me 4x is 160. We're going to divide both sides by 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4, and I get x is 40. So looking at this, 40 miles is x, so I'll put a 40 here. And 3x, 3 times 40 would be 120. So a nice little check in terms of 40 and 120. The question is asking me, how far is Bill from Miami? The answer is not 40 miles. Here's Bill, here's Miami. He's 120 miles from Miami. So let's write our answer in that form and say Bill is 120 miles away from Miami. So that's the process. You've got to read the problem, figure out the relationship of the variables, define a variable of sorts, give an equation, solve the equation, and then go back and make sure that you've answered the question. The question here asked, how far is Bill from Miami? We're able to answer that question to say he is 120 miles away from Miami. Next, the length of a rectangle is twice its width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 60 inches. Find the length and width of the rectangle. I'm going to let the width be x. So the length, what do we know about length? It's telling us that the length is twice the width. So if the width is x, the length would be 2 times x. So the length is twice the width. The perimeter is 60. Find the length and width. Width is x, length is twice x. So we're going to go ahead and draw our triangle. Width is x, length is 2x. Perimeter is how much fencing I need all the way around. So if it's 2x on this side, it's 2x on that side. If it's x on that side, it's x on that side. So the perimeter requires me to add up all of those pieces. So all the way around, x plus 2x plus x plus 2x. X plus 2x plus x plus 2x is the total perimeter. And what does it tell me the total perimeter is? 60 inches. So if I add all these together, that's 1x plus 2x plus 1x plus 2x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x is 60. So if I divide by 6, x is 10. So going back to the question, we've got to find the length and the width. The width is x. So the width is 10 inches. And the length is twice x. So if this is 10, the length would be 2x, would be 20. The length is 20 inches. All right, take a look at our next question. A an item is marked down 25%. If the sale price is $45, that's after the markdown, what was the original price? So we need to think about what we're looking for. Let's define our variable. So we'll say let X be the original price. So I start with my original price, and I've got to take off, I've got to subtract 25% of the original price. 25% is a decimal, is 0.25. X will equal the sale price. So original price minus 25% of the original price equals the sale price of $45. But this is 1X. We've got to think about what is 1X minus 0.25X. It might be easier to think of 1 as 1.00X. minus 0.25x equals $45. 1.00x minus 0.25x will give me 0.75x equals $45. And we're going to divide both sides by 0.75. 0.75 on this side, 0.75 on that side. So 0.75 over 0.75, 1 over 1, that's 1x. 45 divided by 0.75. 45 divided by 0.75 gives me 60. So the question asks me what was the original price, and I will write the original price was $60. Okay. See what I have next. The sum of three consecutive odd integers is 231. Find the three integers. Well, let's talk about odd integers. So, for example, we might deal with 3, 5, and 7. Those are three consecutive odd integers. If the first one is x, if 3 is x, what is 5? To get the next odd number, you start with 3. You've got to add 2 more to it. So the next one after that would be x plus 2. And 7 would be 2 more than that one, so x plus 2 plus 2. So we add 2 again. X plus 2 plus 2 would give me my next odd integer. So my three odd integers together would be x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. And this question is asking me to do a sum. So sum means add all those up, which I should be able to do. So if I add all those up, what is that going to be? That's going to be x plus, that's my first one. X plus 2 is my second one, plus x plus 4 is the third one, equals the sum of those three consecutive odd integers is 231. So we need to add all these together. That's 1x plus 1x plus 1x, so I have 3x. Then we have 2 and 4. 3x plus 6 equals 231. Let's subtract 6 from both sides. Subtract 6, subtract 6. 3x plus 6 minus 6 is 3x. 231 minus 6 is 225. So to solve for x, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Divide this side by 3. Divide that by 3. And I get 1x. 3 over 3 is 1x. Equals 225 divided by 3. 225 divided by 3 is 75. But again, the question asked me to find the three integers. So I have one of them. So I have x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. Find x is 75. X plus 2 then would be 77. And x plus 2 plus 2, x plus 4 would be 79. So to write that out, I will say the three integers are are 75, 77, and 79. All right, let's take a look. I think we have one more word problem ready to go here. And this says a real estate agent earns a commission of 5% on the selling price of a house. If she earned a commission of $22,500, what was the selling price of the house? So if we're going to look at the relationship of these variables, 5% of selling price equals commission. So I think I'm going to let X be the selling price. That's what I'm looking for here. So 5% is a decimal. I'm going to use 0.05 there. Of times selling price X equals the commission equals 22,500. So 0.05X equals 22,500. So let's divide both sides by 0.05. Divide by 0.05, divide by 0.05. And I get X equals what? 22,500 divided by 0.05. Gives me 450,000. And that's our X was our selling price. So I like to write my final answer in words. Basically, if it's a word problem, I like to give you a word answer. So we'll say the selling price for the house was $450,000. And that will conclude this lesson.